But, I'm interested too, just real quick, last question here, because I know you got to go. Where do you see this Dettlebach nomination at today? I mean, it's early still. We haven't had the confirmation hearing yet, which is going to be a big deal. But what do you think the baseline is today in terms of how many votes we could expect him to get if the vote was tomorrow?
I mean, I think you got to start with a baseline of 48 and take Manchin and King off the table, at least theoretically, right? Neither one of them came out, after Biden announced Dettlebach's nomination and said, that's my guy. I'll gladly vote for him. That doesn't mean that they haven't given Biden or the White House private assurances that they will. I don't know. I mean, if I were Joe Biden, would I have put forth a name without talking to Angus King, Joe Manchin, John Tester? No, I would not. I would have made sure that any name I put forward, they had said, I don't have as far as I know, I don't have a problem with them, at the very least. Whether or not that happened, I don't know. Do you know?
I don't think it did. I can't say for sure either, but I don't know that they did anything quite like that.
Well, that's moronic. But again, that's probably par for the course for this administration. So again, I think you have to now start with a starting point of 48. And listen, I mean, the problem for Steve Dettlebach is that while he didn't work for a gun control group like David Chipman, he got the endorsement of those gun control groups when he ran for Attorney General of Ohio. So all of the positions that David Chipman held that ultimately disqualified him from serving as the permanent director of the ATF, Steve Dettlebach has also held. I mean, he's expressed support for gun bans. He's expressed support for, all of these new regulations. Maybe I don't know if he's gone so far as David Chipman is to say that the AR-15 should be considered a machine gun under the National Firearms Act. Maybe that's something that can come up during his confirmation hearing. But I don't. Well,
he's for an assault weapons ban, so kind of the same idea.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't think that Dettlebach, if the vote comes down to his positions and his philosophy and what he brings to the table as ATF director, I don't see that there's any reason why he would be any more acceptable to Joe Manchin and Angus King than David Chipman was. I mean, at the end of the day.
As far as the core issue, if Chipman's nomination failed because of his policy positions, then I believe that that's true. But I think also it probably was more of a combination of the policy positions and his various comments that he'd made and his personality being, the fact that he's very a bombastic kind of guy and he had a bad confirmation hearing. And obviously they blame the White House for not doing enough to support him afterwards or speaking up enough on his behalf. There's a lot of things to consider with the way these things go. And senators are, of course, can be pretty fickle guys. I think it's interesting that you're starting from 48 and going the other way, like that he has to earn the votes. I would start from, 53 and go backwards. He has to lose those votes. That's how I would look at it, is like there's probably, there's a couple Republicans who are willing to give the president what he wants in most nominations, but then unless there's something in particular that they don't like about the person, and then you'll lose their votes. And then you get to the 50 Democrats, and you got to do a little more to lose their votes, of course, just because the president's a Democrat. So it's interesting, though. I think it'll be an interesting one to watch to see if he makes it through. And I think that, was it the Times that said they were targeting fall, which is weird because you'd think they would target spring,
right?
Like get it over before the election. I don't know if they're trying for a lame duck confirmation.
I mean, I've heard, really like a May confirmation hearing, but then, you're probably running into the summer recess for a full vote.
That's what happened
go back
with
on
Chipman.
the campaign trail. Yeah.
So that's what, but I don't know, dragging it out to fall gives you the same issues. You still have it as an election issue.